Hello everyone and welcome to my McLaren Return to Glory career mode. Today we are officially bringing a B-SPEC car to our home race for the rest of the season. So far it hasn't been the year I was hoping for, and I want to try and get that Constructors title, and drastic times call for drastic measures. Now guys, if you haven't seen the last episode, go check it out, link in the top right, spoiler warning, so go see what happened there before we jump into this one. Also, if you're going to enjoy today's episode and this B-SPEC car reveal, then leave a like on the video. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes, and also subscribe to my channel if you are new. I haven't subbed already guys. I post daily F1 content and I'm trying to reach 100k subs this year guys. So if you want to help me out, I would massively appreciate it. Now, let's talk about a few things before the B-SPEC car gets launched. Now, number one is going to be engine wear. So this weekend we are going to take new components. Later on in the weekend, we're going to try and get through practice with the old engine. We're going to have a chassis department event, which I basically had to choose again to go with or against the department lead on this one. And I chose yet again to accept and go with their recommendation in terms of development. Now, with that done, we arrive at the season break. We've done a bunch of, R&D points, I guess, accruing in a way during the last few weeks. But crucially, we had two upgrades on the way and they both arrived. An Ultimate and a Major, which are both on the aero, which is massive. And this is part of the reason why we have the B-SPEC car, because we've brought some big updates to the aerodynamics to change the car, how it looks, and hopefully how it's going to perform. So I present to you the brand new B-SPEC McLaren for this season of career mode. So as you can see, we are bringing back the chrome, which was a good omen for us last season. So there's a lot more chrome on the car, especially on the side pod. We've blacked out the rear wing and we're going to bring a bit more orange to the front end of the car and just generally bringing the whole look together. We now have a side pod sponsor as well, which is great to see, and we've managed to pull off the chrome look, keeping some of the details in its original place. I can't lie, I'm very happy with this. I had to get this on a pretty short turnaround. Shout out to the guys in the morning communities to help me get this done in the last 48 hours or so. And yeah, we had a few hiccups along the way, but job done. And you can see also the orange is a lot more potent. It's a bit of a darker, richer orange to kind of stand out a bit more on with the chrome. So I really like it guys. It honestly just works really nice together as a package. On the left a new one, on the right the old one, just to confirm if you weren't sure already. And yeah, we're going to see if this new machine is going to yield the results that we're looking for and hopefully turn our season around, because of course we are looking for that championship, and so far it hasn't been the season that we hoped for. So yeah, overall very gassed, very nice. Orange from the front, black from the rear, and chrome from the side. That's kind of the objective of what I've gone for with this one. And here is the final kind of overview as we go from old to new one last time. So yeah guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the car. Does it satisfy, your, let's say, your critique, or do you prefer the old version? Let me know down below in the comments. Either way, this is our new machine. So on the agenda, we had to wait a couple of weeks, but we now had enough R&D points to purchase an ultimate chassis upgrade for tyre wear for the suspension geometry, which is great. Also, a few weeks later, from that previous chassis department event, we got the results and we got an increase in morale, which is also quite good timing because of that upgrade we just purchased. Hopefully, we don't get any failures on that one, and that is going to massively help out our tyre wear, which is a really key thing. So yeah, with that done, we now jump into the weekend's action. We have rain forecast for qualifying, quite a lot, especially for the first part of qualifying anyways, and it looks like it may dry out right towards the very end, so possibly last Q3 runs on dries. The race though completely dry, so no rain forecast. As for the updates, Red Bull have also put a shift in over the summer break. Also Ferrari bringing some big updates as well. So yeah, either way we're keeping ourselves right up there with Red Bull since the latest patch and staying competitive, and hopefully the B-SPEC car will help us. You can see the last race P7 in Spain. I'm looking to hopefully get back to that Monaco form. Here is the championship standing. So right now we are 80 points behind Red Bull, which is quite a lot. So we have to start carving away and cutting into that deficit and make some improvements in the Drivers' Championship. We're also about half the points Verstappen has right now, so again, work to be done on that aspect as well. Although I'm happy to let the drivers go if it means we get the constructors. I want to work with Lando, work as a team, and I want to secure that title that's missing, from this series so far. We already have the number one in our car and we are defending the Drivers' Championship. So we've done that goal, but I want to get the Constructors. So as you just saw, the car was on track for the first time, and to be fair, we had some very high tyre wear, more than expected, 1.2, which is quite a lot to be fair. Fuel consumption was actually on the lower end, so that was also quite encouraging. Lando second in FP2, which is also a very good sign. Now after practice, before qualifying, we are going to go ahead and now switch out those components. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we have no reliability trouble. We spent a lot of R&D points on durability upgrades during the winter, during the off-season, to hopefully not have trouble with this. So I'm hoping nothing goes wrong and the engine holds up. So yeah, we're going to keep the energy store and the control electronics for a couple more races because we only have 2 of those. But for the rest, we're going to move on and get some fresh components in and try to get a bit more power. So after practice, we've got a bunch of discounts, which is also helpful, and we'll have most of those be applied to durability, which is all we have left now, really. And yeah, we're now going to jump into qualifying. Soaking rain, classic British summertime weather here at Silverstone. Rain pouring, get the boats out because we are going to have to try and survive some pretty soggy conditions. Anyway, let's get to it. First time driving the car flat out, this new B-SPEC McLaren in its, let's say, natural habitat of the British Grand Prix, of course, in a home race. Now, our first lap got a bit out of shape as we lost the back end through Chapel out of nowhere and actually invalidated, believe it or not. So this first lap is not going to count. So I went ahead and went for another push lap, and we was actually up by half a second compared to the previous lap already at this point without the mistake. So now just simply cleaning up the mistake, we're going to gain that lap time back, and we're now up by 1.1 seconds, which is a pretty decent margin. 8/10 up on Hulkenberg as well. We'll gain a bit more time, of course, because of the exit onto the hanger straight and that mistake. Didn't really get the line right through Stowe. I got a bit too tight onto the curb and had to scrub off some speed. Into the final chicane, I also just skate and drift in. Didn't quite catch the apex, but we actually found quite a bit of time. And to my surprise, now have 1.3 seconds up our sleeve. The exit wasn't great though. Across the line though, P8, and we are a 10th off Gasly in P6 at 136.1. Now, the conditions were going to dry. As we saw at the start of the video, the rain was going to improve, and we're now all in intermediates. Now, I spent the whole outlap scuffling with Gasly, trying to choose if I want to go ahead or behind. In hindsight, I should have gone ahead because we're now going to only get 1 lap in, whereas if I'd gone ahead, I actually could have got a couple of laps in, to be fair, in hindsight, just realising now whilst editing the footage. So we're going to get 1 shot at this lap, so we're going to have to deliver. All the traffic is behind us, so they may well set slightly unrealistic bug lap times, as we're going to have the checkered flag drop and we're going to fade to black, but hopefully we can do enough on this one to get the job done in the new McLaren. So already finding time, but we get a bit out of shape through turn 3, getting our drift on, which isn't always the worst thing in this game, as it is a bit of a controversial issue, but drifting can be faster if you do it right in this game, although in that case I'm adamant I got it a bit wrong, got a bit sideways and lost a bit of time. Regardless, the delta isn't really much help in this situation because the track is just faster anyway. So yeah, currently up by 6/10 on Pierre and P6, but that's not totally realistic. Speaking of which, Pierre just up the road. I'm using him as a visual reference, so if we're closer by the end of the lap, we know I've had a good lap. If we're farther away, then I know I've had a bad one. So right now, I would say he's actually pulled away a little bit. So I'm a little bit concerned we're not going that quick. So we're going to have to try and, pick the pace up a little bit in the second half of the lap and really get things together. So making our way through the S section, we know there's a bit of time to find. He didn't quite get all of the apex through the right on entry, but we do get a pretty decent exit actually, getting a nice run out of the last one and onto the hanger straight. And we're up by a couple of seconds as we now take a breather before the final sector. So Stowe, this is where we was a bit slow last time, got a bit stuck on the inside curb, this time carrying a bit more corner speed and just getting that momentum and getting the exit, just keeping it within track limits. Into the chicane, a bit deep on the brakes again, even worse than last time there, just completely outbroke myself. I missed a downshift as well. Up to the line though, everyone's improving, and we're going to say 33.0 or 33.1, but it's not enough. We're out in qualifying, P16, as others improved, and we miss out by 22 thousandth of a second. That close. And even to Magnussen, 25 thousandth of a second, or 35 thousandths, literally a whisker. One of those small micro errors, and we could have got through. The big drift into turn 3 cost us badly. That was a big hit, and I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted because I actually think we could have got pole in the wet. Obviously, it was going to dry out, but the wet conditions, I'm really fast in the wet, and it seemed to really suit our car. And it actually felt really good to drive, but we just made a couple of errors. And this is why I'm always a big advocate and always saying, if you can, in the wet, do 2 laps in a row, because the second lap will always be better than the first. And I think in hindsight, if I'd started the lap ahead of Gasly, we may have actually got 2 laps in. So yeah, I'm gutted. I think we could have done better. So for the race, we're up against it. So this is going to be a proper test to see if the new McLaren is up to par.
You join us in the United Kingdom today, or Great Britain as it's alternatively known. Well, it's certainly a great day today as we welcome you to one of the crown jewels of British sport, a track of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Drugovich, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Martinez, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Sargent and Zhou Guanyu. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? They've had to change their gearbox, of course, but it's never a good start to a Grand Prix when right off the bat you have to contend with a grid penalty.
Fingers crossed that's one failure they won't have to worry about today at least. There's not much of a silver lining to starting down the field with a penalty, but I think they'll be able to make some of that back up over the course of the race.
Here we go then, time for the race at Silverstone, and we start from 16th place, so work to be done. We are a long way away, however, hopefully this will be the true test of the B-SPEC car. Hopefully it delivers and we can turn this one around. I'm confident with the pace based off how the car felt in practice. I wasn't actually that fast, but I felt comfortable, and I think we're only going to get stronger as we get used to this car. So for this one, we're going to start on the hard tyre. I'm going to try something different, go for the hard and then onto the medium. So basically push flat out and have no tyre temp issues. Try and get the worst tyre out the way first and then get on the medium, which should be perfect. Fuel-wise, I'm running pretty much 43.5, which is about what we had in the practice program. So that should be perfect. And yeah, the key thing here is trying to stay in DRS range. I'm hoping I can pull it off on the hard tyres. It's going to be really tough, but I'm expecting to be surrounded by medium runners up front, and then around where we are, it should be soft runners, realistically, but I could be wrong. Usually top 10 start on medium, and then 11th down to last start on softs. So we'll see if I'm wrong, but either way, we're going to try and make the hard tyre work. So guys, like the video. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, as I'm trying to reach 100k. And yeah, let's get into it. So as I predicted, we are surrounded by soft tyre runners. I'm not sure what those in the top 10 are going for, but the key thing, Lando's on pole, so fingers crossed. And I'm going to knock some wood. Hopefully Lando can win and get this comeback started. Right then, here we go. Home Grand Prix. Will this be the turning point? It's not a great start. We get Schumacher off the line. A few slow cars up ahead here, so we may get a chance. And we're going to go around the outside of all of them, 3 wide. Currently boxed in, but we can try to fight back around the outside of turn 3, which gives us the inside into 4. Oh, what a start. Drugovich, slow on the exit. Using the battery here, trying to hold our own. If we can just break into the top 10, that would be a really, really good start. But we're already amongst the medium runners, which will take some pressure off. If we were surrounded by soft runners, we'd be in big trouble. But because we're now with the medium runners, that will help us maybe manage the race pace a bit better. Gasly looking for the pass, but we're going to hold the line. A little bit wide through Cops as we struggle with the hard tyre, lacking some grip, so we're using the battery to try and hold our own here. But so far, so good. That start has got us right into the race now. Lando's had a bad start. I can just see on the minimap he's down to like P5 or P6. So something went wrong for Lando, so I'll see if I can remember to get a replay up of his race start, but it hasn't been good for Lando. Hopefully no damage. As for us though, it's a good start, so mixed fortunes for McLaren. At the minute, really leaning on the battery to try and keep up here and work and keep Gasly behind, which isn't easy. As the race goes on, we'll get stronger and this tyre will be more competitive. That was a good first sector already though. We've got ourselves away from Gasly a bit, taking some of the pressure off. The race will open up on the next lap.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
That's not bad actually. Verstappen 24.0, we're down to 25.1 on hards. Don't know what tyre Verstappen's on, but that's not bad at all. And we're now starting to already get the car underneath us. Trying to put some pressure here on Drogovic and Ocon. Gasly now is a bit further back, so we're looking good. Car feels really nice to drive. I made some setup tweaks as well for the race. A bit more wing, and that seems to be helping. So the engine is also really nice for the extra horsepower. Let's see if we can try and make some progress in a few laps time. Once those softs start to dwindle, we can really push on as we get our first track limit warning. They just get a bit wide. We've actually got some very, very good straight line speed. We're actually competing in the acceleration zones with this new car. Still losing a bit, but not as bad as the old one, so we've recovered some of that loss. And now at VMAX, we're actually super strong, so this is really encouraging. You'll see here, I may be able to challenge Ocon, although actually he's going to challenge Drogovic here, so they swapped around last lap and they're still going at it. Also more battling up ahead. So Drogovic gets ahead of Ocon there. We'll see if we can maybe go through. We are very strong through 1 and 2. If I can just stay close through here. Again, put the acceleration to work. Yeah, that's good. Bit of a lift, but look at this, it gets us a run on Ocon. It takes a bit of a lift through turn 2, and we're going to go straight up the inside and take P10. And we may, never mind, that inside clump of the curb, just hitting that sausage curb didn't help, but we'll try and get Drogovic on the hanger straight. Oh, hold the phone. Is it signs? Careful. Yes, it is. I think that's fair. That's valid. We reacted in time. Yep, we'll take it.
Okay, clear.
Will there be a safety car? That'd be interesting. Looks like there won't be. I don't think we had a safety car yet this season. The safety car refusing to come out as we get a bit loose through Chapel. Anyway, P8. So a nice little gift there. Thanks to Sainz, we overtake Drogovic in the process. Now we're going to have to graft to make up lost time and catch up with Piastri and Alonso, who are ahead of us. So let's get this hard tyre working. Norris up to P4 from what I can tell, so he's cleared someone and is making progress. But let's push on now. Let's try and put this tyre to work and let's see what our pace really is. We'll use on the battery quite a bit. We'll lean on it and see what we can get out of the car here. Oh, that lap was phenomenal. No personal best, but it felt really good. Probably because of the lack of DRS. We pretty much match our personal, which is encouraging. Also getting some time on Piastri and Alonso there. Piastri's actually going to catch Alonso, so these two may battle and merge, which may help us get the two of them. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this car feels quality to drive. Probably slow that lap, but still gaining. Pace is still decent. At this rate, this will help us get back in the race. And then on the mediums, we should be quick. Everyone else should be on mediums in the next stint, pretty much. I'll be surprised if there's any hard tyre runners. So we're not going to be quicker on tyres in terms of compound, but at least it'll be a level playing field. So we should be even quicker than what we are right now. Right, Piastri's going to go for the move here on Alonso. Trying to catch, but it's hard to catch someone who's got DRS. Alonso has also picked up his pace a little bit. I'm now running a bit low on battery, so it would be nice for me to catch up and save a bit of energy. Not quite going to get DRS on the hanger straight. I used up pretty much all the battery remains to try and catch, but wasn't quite close enough. But
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
hopefully we'll catch up in the next zone. As Alonso and now Piastri are going to go side by side, which is going to help us out massively. Still going at it. And that should do it. A little bit of side by side for the final chicane is going to cost them valuable time. And that will bring us into play. Right, there we go. Let's recharge a bit and get ready for the push as Alonso goes back on the inside. They're going to pit now, so I need to recharge until we get released into clean air, basically. And then we'll have to push on our own for a bit. So we'll tactically just wait a little while. Also, early signs. I wonder if Alonso got damage in that exchange. Piastri opening a pretty big gap already. Yeah, Alonso got damage, I think. He seems slow to me. Very slow. Yeah, Alonso got damage. Okay, we'll get him on the back straight. We'll sit behind, get the slingshot and get onto Piastri hopefully. But Alonso definitely wounded in combat in that last sequence. You can see there he's really slowing up. We'll just wait for the DRS. Right, let's go. Time to move it. Let's go on to Piastri. Yellow ahead, we're going to just clear it. Not sure, it's gone now, so maybe someone who pit.
Green flag.
Could be that Red Bull who pit. Not sure, either way. AI pitting now, so crucial phase, we've got to try and push here if we can. Probably lost a bit of time on that lap to be fair, should have just passed Alonso earlier. Anyway.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Yep, key phase of the race. So interestingly, I think everyone ahead of us is on medium. Verstappen's gone for medium, so I think these cars ahead are going to go for soft on the last stint. I'm actually slower than Lando, although Lando pits and so does Merc. I was going to pit this lap. I was going to go for a little undercut, but that's changed my plans.
Lando's coming in for his stop now.
Well, let's see what tyres they'll go for. Surely it's got to be hards if they're pitting now. I thought they were going to go for softs. If that's the case, we'll stick with the original strategy.
In this lap, push now.
Yep, seems like hard tyres all round. We'll see what Russell goes for this lap. Okay, so now we'll pit. Hopefully Russell goes for the hards. And that would be everyone on that compound. And then we'll box for the mediums and we'll see if that is the race tyre of the day. Easy does it on the pit entry, let's not speed. It's been a good race so far, it's been a good recovery drive. We'll see how much more we can get out of this. It's not going to be easy, but hopefully, fingers crossed. I would love to say we can get Verstappen, or is it no, it's Perez who's behind Lando and ahead of Piastri, I think it is. So we'll see if we can get that. That would be decent. That would be a top 5 finish. Lando currently on for P4. We'll see what kind of pace Lando has in this final part of the race as well. But yeah, we're going to rejoin probably behind Piastri here. And like I said, my target is to get Piastri and Perez. Piastri on medium. So same compound. Maybe Piastri might battle with Checo and that might help gain a bit of time.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
Right then, here we go. B-SPEC car. What have you got for me on mediums? This should be the race tyre. I'm hoping it is. I need it to be. Let's push. So first up on the agenda is going to be the fastest lap attempt. So let's push and let's use our battery on this one and see what kind of progress we can make. Got to try and beat a 23.6. It's going to be close. Use all the battery to the line. There we go. Just. Right. Hopefully that locks up the point. Now we're out of battery, but we're closing on Piastri. I'm actually not gaining anything on Checo. Checo's flying. Very impressive pace, and that hard tyre seems to be working for them quite well. Landed on a 24.0 on the last lap, by the way, which is also mental. Only half a second slower than me, and I was pushing flat out on the medium, so I think we're still lacking a bit of pace with the heavy hitters, but Piastri is definitely in our target zone, so we can definitely get that P6 from him. Right then, so we're now in Piastri's DRS, so we'll go for a short recharge phase, and then we will get back on it. Right then, we're going to try and go for the pass here, and also hope to pull away and drop him in the process. Oh, a bit of understeer there from the dirty air. A little bit far back, but no DRS should help us close in, like so. Piastri tries to move across and go around the outside, but we'll just get the momentum Now we can push on. Let's see if we can get anything else out of this. If not, it's going to be our classic P6 finish for our brand new car. Let's use all the battery here to try and drop Piastri. Yellow flag, sector 1. Ricardo's out. Now would be a great time for a safety car, honestly, for once, but we're still not going to get any. Seems like we're not getting any safety cars this season.
Okay, clear.
Right, so Piastri dropped out of DRS. So, job done. The top 5 are so quick. They've got so much pace. I mean, I'm pretty much equal with them, if not maybe a touch slower. But they are so quick. The Mercs are battling though for P2, so we'll see if anything happens from that. Second warning. Bit of a silly one to get. Got to be careful now. No more. Well, there we go then. Last lap of the race. Verstappen, very much under control today. Had everything wrapped up early. Went for the aggressive strategy, the soft medium, and it paid off for him. So, fair dues. Pace-wise, I actually lost a bit over the stint to the cars ahead. So, still work to be done. But I will admit, I think if we had qualified better, which is my fault, we could have actually been in the mix today. Might have lacked a bit of pace here and there, but if you're just sitting in DRS, you've always got a chance. And we could have potentially got ourselves in the mix for maybe a podium. But Lando also on pole, had a bad start and threw away the win. Don't know if he had pace to win anyway, but still a much better race.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So we just hold on to the fastest lap point. Verstappen done his attempt, which was 14 thousandths off mine, so really close. But we just hold on for the extra point. Lando P4, and yeah, there is your final order. So Verstappen wins Merc 2-3, and then Perez splits both McLarens, and then it's Piastri, Djokovic, Ocon, and Schumacher scoring points there for Williams in P10. So let's look at the standings as we see how that affects things moving forward. So we are 73 off the top, Lando 2 behind, Verstappen now starting to build a gap, and realistically it's a two-way fight for the driver's title right now. Leclerc and Verstappen are looking pretty strong. In the constructors though, the gap is 94 points. Now I will admit, I was hoping for us to cut the deficit. The reality is, we are going to have to get a few 1-2 finishes. It's got to be a 1-2 or 1-3 for the next 4 or 5 races for us to really get back into it. So yeah, work to be done. We've got more upgrades on the way. And to be fair, I don't think this track fully suits our car anyway. I've always struggled here in the past. So the fact that we had a decent race pace and matched the leaders is encouraging. So I think we'll actually be stronger in other tracks moving forward. So we'll see what happens, guys. Either way, like the video, subscribe if you enjoyed it. And yeah, we go again in the next one. And we'll keep improving, hopefully finding pace and hopefully getting this championship charge back on. But that was a decent race. In hindsight, if Lando converts his pole into a podium and we have a better qualifying, I think it would have been a better weekend, but we fumbled it, so both drivers messed up. Either way, guys, cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.